1.5-year-old Charlie the French Bulldog was still adjusting to life with his new baby brother.
He would run around the yard, like they call them Frenchie Zoomies, and he didn't really know sort of his, kind of how big he was in comparison to Henry, our son. So sometimes he would like knock him over.
Bart Hansen says Charlie was a great, friendly dog, but he and his wife felt he needed some training. So they found a dog trainer through the app Thumbtack. She called herself Lily. Hansen said the agreement was they'd pay Lily $2,250 to train Charlie at her home in Haddam for 2 weeks. She picked up Charlie on September 1st. But when it was time to drop Charlie off in mid-September of last year, a police report says she texted the Hansens a story about her car breaking down and Charlie running off. Police say that was all a lie.
They actually dumped him on the side of the road about 30 miles away from their house.
Turns out Lily's real name is Josephine Ragland. She's been charged in Massachusetts, where the Hansens live, with larceny and intimidating a witness. She's pled not guilty. The police report explains a necropsy found Charlie had no food in his stomach, and he may have died of heat stroke.
So those last few days of his life were in Connecticut?
Yes.
And he was found dumped in Connecticut?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
But right now, there are no criminal charges related to any of that in Connecticut.
Right. This has been, from what I've been told, it's very frustrating for me.
A family pet died in Connecticut, and we needed to find out why.
Jerry Dunn was Connecticut's chief animal control officer at the time. That's the state office within the Department of Agriculture that investigates animal cruelty. Dunn says about a week and a half into the investigation into Charlie's death, his immediate supervisor told him to turn the investigation over to the local authorities.
I had a problem with that decision, and they just said that, this is nothing we should be involved in. And I said, well, that's exactly what state animal control does.
There are 3 different agencies that by statute can investigate animal cruelty: state animal control, municipal animal control, and police departments. In Haddam, the municipal animal control officer, or ACO, is only part-time. Haddam also does not have a police department and is covered by Connecticut State Police troopers. Connecticut State Police told us the investigation is active and they are assisting Haddam's ACO. Haddam's ACO told us she isn't involved and state police are leading the investigation. With different departments telling us different things, it isn't clear who is really looking into this. And that's why Dunn thinks this should have been handled by the state.
And to this day, it's my understanding nothing has been done, and this lady who may have committed a crime in Connecticut has still not been charged with any crime.
As an animal lover himself with more than 3 decades of law enforcement experience, Dunn says the Haddam decision was the final straw.
Good girl. Good girl.
He resigned from his position in November after 4 years with the Department of Agriculture.
Do you think as it stands that the unit is living up to that mission, fulfilling the mission of being there for the animals?
I think they're trying. They are. They are trying, but at times there seems to be interference.
What do you mean by interference?
I think people in positions higher than I within the agency were getting involved in the decision making, and I didn't necessarily agree with some of the decisions that were made.
The person in the highest position at the Department of Agriculture is Commissioner Brian Herbert.
When we have a complex case, which a lot of the animal cruelty cases are, is we get everybody together, the town, local law enforcement, whether it be the state police or local law enforcement, and we have a conversation about who's going to do what the roles are, and how we're going to work towards resolution. And that's what we did in Haddam.
Herbert says he could not go further into detail about Charlie's case because it is an ongoing investigation being led by Connecticut State Police. Herbert claims the Department of Agriculture is still assisting, but sources within the department say investigators have not had any active involvement since October. Herbert told us the Department of Agriculture opened 400 investigations in 2023, but not all were related to animal cruelty. 8 of those 400 investigations led to arrests. Jerry Dunn believes the state was turning investigations over to local authorities more often because of a lack of resources. There are 7 state animal control officers covering the entire state of Connecticut.
The budgets were getting pushed. They were running out of money for a lot of this stuff.
Do you think there's a resource issue at all with the department? Would you like to have more? Have you gone to the legislature for that kind of thing? Or?
Well, I think we have enough. If we were able to get more, of course, that would reduce the load on each individual.
Herbert denies the idea that the department is passing off animal cruelty investigations.
Nobody's giving up responsibilities. It's a shared duty.
For Charlie's family, it doesn't really matter who is investigating.
Charlie's death has nothing to do with the battles that might be going on between departments in Connecticut. I would just like someone to take this case seriously and move it forward through the courts.
If every dog has its day, Hansen just wants Charlie to have his day in court.
The Massachusetts police report describes how investigators got documents from California that describe how Ragland ran a similar dog training scheme there before moving to Connecticut. The report says she left California after a dog disappeared. Ragland is now facing charges there too, but the California court tells me the details of that case are currently sealed. Her lawyer did not respond to our request for comment. For the I-Team, Cassidy Williams, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.